morning. It's Thursday, July 27th. Thanks for joining us on Up to the Minute. I'm Dr. Lana Pigao, Northwest College Communications Director, with Dr. Nicholas Cox, History Department Chair, who's going to tell everyone how to find us on social media and on TV.
Good morning. Good morning. We are live on the Houston Community College Facebook page and YouTube. We're also on Twitter, LinkedIn, and HCCTV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Great. It is Thursday Family Fun Day, and our favorite museum returns to talk about live reenactments of historical battles of the Pacific. Good morning, Kyna. We'll be right with you.
Morning.
But first, we're going to be focusing on HCC's biology program and a new partnership it is building in Katy. So with us this morning is Dr. Chukwuemeka Opara. He is chair of HCC's Life Sciences Department and professor of biology, anatomy, and physiology.
Good morning, Anna.
Good morning. Welcome to the show, Dr. O. This is your first time. We're so happy you're joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Absolutely. So biology is an obvious pathway to the medical field, and there is no better time to be in healthcare than now. But before we get into the basics of the program, you have some good news about a partnership. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. Actually, we do have a partnership with University of Houston, Victoria. So technically speaking, the collaboration with UHV is to offer 3 science bachelor's degree options. So one in kinesiology, one in biology, and one in health studies. Now, and with those, we have a pathway where we have the upper level labs held in HCC at the Katy campus, okay? But if I was to simplify the whole thing, so simply speaking, the partnership is for a student to start at HCC and finish at HCC, okay? So with a bachelor's degree, which means you start 2 years at HCC, then seamlessly transition into UHV. But while you're at UHV, you're going to take your classes in HCC, and the ending of those classes are those labs we're talking about. Okay, so 2 years, but still it's like starting at HCC and finishing at HCC.
Wow, that's great. And you know, Katy and UH are just across the street from each other.
Yeah, so across the street. It's just a walking.
That's a great partnership, yeah.
Yes.
So you also have a collaboration with MD Anderson in the works. Is that correct?
Yes. So a lot of our students that we have, you know, historically, a lot of our students have been more like transit students, spend maybe a year with us, maybe 6 months. They just want to get their prerequisites and they're out, you know, and a lot of them are thinking about nursing, thinking that's the only option they have. So with MD Anderson School of Health Professions, we actually got into talking with them and trying to get our students to look at the whole thing differently, because a lot of them try to go into nursing and they don't make it, and when they do that, they don't have anything to fall back on. So we realized that, okay, if we start with MD Anderson, our students could actually get bachelor's degrees in lab science, clinical lab science. They could get bachelor's degrees in cytogenic technology. They could get bachelor's degrees in their cytotechnology, the histotechnology, the molecular genetic technology, the genetic diagnostic genetics, and genomics. So these degrees are bachelor's degrees. Of course, the genomics degree is a master's degree, you know, master's of science. So we're working on this to make sure that we'll have other pathways for our students to actually graduate and work in the health field, in the allied health field, without having to lose out when they don't get into nursing. So you know how it is that every single semester, you're like, when we look at our AP2, we graduate like about 3,000 students, right? Average throughout the year, 3,000 students. And then at the end, how many do you have places for? Maybe 70 places in nursing schools. So you have about 2,930 who would not get into nursing school. Where did they go to? So we're trying to find another way where our students will actually finish and get into other professions that are also very, very, very dependable and pay well and be in the medical field.
Right. Now, that's important. So tell us why now's the time to be in healthcare beyond the post-COVID world.
Oh man, healthcare has always been the place to be. As a physician, healthcare has always been the place to be. You in healthcare, you're like, how will I put this? You have prospects, you have opportunities, and healthcare is in the United States is growing. The healthcare profession in the United States is blooming, is expanded. It's one of those things where you will find a niche, no matter what you do. What you do, if you're going into healthcare, you will find a niche. You find one that fits you. Okay, it doesn't have to be just nursing or medicine or veterinarian or dentist or dental hygiene. There are different areas in healthcare that you can get into, and you're sure of that job security.
Yeah, it's amazing to me. Every new building that's going up, it seems every other one is some type of healthcare.
Yes. Yes.
Building going up. Yeah. So explain the quality of the student lab experiences at HCC.
Well, our labs are very good. Our labs are not, how will I put this? We're still working on making them perfect. It's hard to get to perfection. The student lab experience is one of exceptional ones. We have very good professors. We have talented professors who are willing to work with our students. We are buying equipment. We just got an order of stereo microscopes, brand new stereo microscopes, all across the board that we distributed equally across all the colleges. At the beginning, when I started, we had that, when we did the transformation, you could see that some of our labs were behind, right? Some colleges were a little bit behind. We in the biology department with this have actually made our labs more or less harmonized. We've made sure that what you could find at Central, you're going to find in Stafford, you're going to find in Katy, you're going to find in Spring Branch or Caldwell. So yes, our labs are actually being operated and being handled by professionals who are very, very passionate about teaching the students.
I don't think folks understand the high quality of faculty at community colleges. So tell us about the quality of your faculty.
Well, when you look at our faculty, all you have to do sometimes is to pick up, look at the faculty curriculum vitae, their CVs, their resumes. We have in this biology faculty, by the way, the Houston Community College biology department is one of the largest in the country. Right, it's one of the largest in the United States. After that transformation that we went through, we have a department that actually boasts of about 60 full-time faculty. We're talking about MDs, we're talking about PhDs. We have more than 150 adjunct faculty, also MDs, PhDs, people with masters teaching different areas. The biology department is one that has very, 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 very qualified people handling the teaching. And we keep on going through that whole sort of like faculty development every single year. We're trying to make sure that our faculty keep on improving on the standards that they have and that they do the best they can for their students. Okay, so it's one of the best that we have, and we keep on improving on it.
Great, that's very impressive. Very impressive. So tell us some of the degree options HCC offers in this area.
Well, when we look at our degree options, our students finishing in HCC, when they finish up with their Associates of Science, a lot of them are transferring out. Okay, a lot of them are going out. In the biology department, a lot of our students are not those traditional students who will stay the whole 2 years in HCC. A lot of our students are coming to the biology department are those that are getting their prerequisites for other programs that they have to go through, which is why we're looking at getting more cohorts, especially the partnership with UHV, University of Houston, Victoria, getting a cohort who will start from high school to recruit the students. So they go through the whole 4 years, they go through the 2 years in HCC and 2 years in UHV. But at the end of the whole thing, our students come out with the bachelor's degrees. Some of them will go further and get their master's degrees. Those of them going to nursing, when they finish their RNs, their nursing degrees, some of them go into doctorates to become doctorates in nursing. So the bachelor's is one of the most popular ones that our students will end up with.
Great. So what are some of the career opportunities for our students with biology degrees?
Oh, man.
Those transfer.
The opportunities, career opportunities are just endless. They are limitless. Again, you know how I said at the beginning that students are always thinking about just nursing, right? Our students finishing here have the opportunity of going towards the nursing pathway, physician assistant pathway. Some of them can go to medical school if they wanted to, biological technician pathway. Some of them can go biologists. Some can decide to pay it back and become teachers, biology teachers. We have some of them towards the chiropractor pathway, dentist, dental hygienist pathway, environmental scientists. They could work for occupational health, occupational therapy, safety pathway, pharmaceutical sales reps. They could become registered dietitians, veterinarians. If they wanted to go into imaging studies, they could become CT specialists, MRI specialists, medical dosimetry specialists, radiotherapy, radiation therapy specialists. So it's a whole vast area in medical and allied health that our students can go to, which is one of the things that we actually want to open their eyes up and see. It's not one field only. It's not a narrow path. It's a wide path. Just look around, see what matches your own passion best, get into it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Dr. O, Chair of the Life Sciences and Professor of Biology, Anatomy, and Physiology for HCC's Life Sciences Department. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and we'll have your info in our post after the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Well, we're going to move now to talk to Kyna Stys, the Program Director for Education and Museum Programs at the National Museum of the Pacific War, an affiliate of the Smithsonian Institution. Kyna, welcome. Good morning. Do I have all that right? Your title and your museum information?
Yes, absolutely. It's a mouthful, so we're going through that.
Sounds like you're doing more than one job over there, but you know, your museum is out in the Hill Country in Fredericksburg, and it's a perfect getaway for a day trip from Houston. I have some questions about your living history program in a moment, but could you just describe the museum more generally for people who've never been?
Oh, absolutely. We are in Hill Country, and it's a nice little getaway. It's always cooler here, which we like to brag about. But we are a 6-acre campus, and we have over 55,000 square feet of exhibit space. And we have different aspects. We have the George H.W. Bush Gallery, which tells this comprehensive history of the Pacific War. We also have the Nimitz Gallery that really explores his life and career. And the reason the museum's here is because Admiral Nimitz was born in Fredericksburg. So we have that deep-rooted Texas history here. And then we have our Pacific Combat Zone, which is about a block away. And that's where our battlefield is, where the living history programs come to life.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. I know a lot of people travel out to Fredericksburg for wine, live music, flowers, but there are a lot of important historical sites there, including these ones around Nimitz and LBJ, right?
Oh, absolutely. We're really close to the LBJ Ranch down that street in Johnson City.
All right. Well, tell me, give me a description, sort of an overall description of these living history programs that you guys call campaign briefings.
Yes, they're new this year, so we're very excited. But this program really tackles the big questions. Why were we in certain campaigns? What happened? And why does it matter? So we're looking at specific campaigns that had a very big impact on the Pacific War as a whole. And so it's a little interpretive. We're telling you the history, and we follow it up with an actual battle reenactment.
And if someone came to watch a battle reenactment of a Pacific Theater battle, what would that viewer experience? What would they see?
Oh, it's very exciting. So our battlefield really represents different aspects of the Japanese tactics. They really embedded themselves in the islands. So you have pillboxes, cave systems. So we show that. And then we show the American tactics. So we are, entering through trenches. We land like an amphibious landing off a Higgins boat or an LVT, and we make our way up the hill. And we have blank firing weapons. So most of them are World War II weapons. So you can see anything from a 1919 to a Springfield. And our big debut or big finale is always our M2-2 flamethrower, which was from World War II. It was from 1944, and that one always blows everybody away. We always say we want you to see, feel, hear history, but with the flamethrower, you're feeling history too, because you can feel that heat no matter where you're sitting.
No, that sounds fascinating. I'm sure the attendees just really enjoyed the production. You mentioned, obviously there's a lot of battles in the Pacific theater of the war, and you interpretively choose battles that you sort of determine have been sort of significant or turning points. I understand one of those battles in your campaign briefing this season will be the Battle of Munda Puente. What caused you to choose that particular battle?
Coincidentally, the 80th anniversary is August 5th, so that is the day of our program. And we chose it because it was a minor battle if you look at the whole, but the ramifications of it were major. So with that, it was in the Solomons campaign, and it happened in the island of New Georgia. But the battle itself really started to create some questions of why were we going island to island? And this really led to the island hopping strategy, which changed the Pacific War entirely. And the major objective of this particular battle was to grab an airfield, which we did on August 5th. So we're excited to teach this history because it's one of those battles you don't really hear about in the grand scheme of World War II. But we're also excited to really have our guests leave knowing that this smaller battle really had a huge impact on the entire war.
Well, thank you. I understand these campaign briefings you mentioned, these are new this year, but I understand since you became the program director, you've expanded the living history programs. Can you tell us about some other living history events happening at the museum?
Yes, absolutely. My team and I, we find it really important to create an educational experience, but also tell a very well-rounded history. So we do that with 3 different types of programs. The first is our Outpost program. So we take this complicated history of World War II and we try to make it little digestible nuggets. So this could be topics like the home front or food on the front. What were they eating when they were in the trenches? And we also talk about communication, transportation, and they're 15-minute programs. And we really dive deep into these areas. But then afterwards, we invite everybody down to interact with the artifacts. So you're really engaging with history in a really fun and interesting way. Our next one is the campaign briefing. And that one, we're really diving into these tactical moments and decisions in the Pacific War with the battle. But our big reenactment is called Pacific Valor. And with that, we really wanted to dive into the heroic actions of individuals in World War II and tell these amazing stories. So this year with Pacific Valor, we are honoring Medal of Honor recipients. And this year we have 2 of the youngest. Jack Lucas was only 17 years old when he landed on Iwo Jima. So these programs begin with the Medal of Honor ceremony that we're reenacting and a reading of the citation. And then you get to see that moment unfold on the battlefield during the reenactment.
Well, in my own observations, I see an enormous public appetite for living history events. And I think the ones done by museums and the National Park Service can be quite educational as well, because they have sort of responsible education directors behind them. I was in New Orleans in January, and I had an opportunity to see an enactment of the Battle of New Orleans at the National Park site where the battle occurred. And then later that night for the American Historical Association conference, there were living actors performing, Benjamin Franklin and Abraham Lincoln and others as well. And you see a lot of that at national park sites. The appetite for historical reenactment of battles, Revolutionary, Civil War, World War II, it's a very deep American interest. Where do you think that comes from? What is it about these living history events that is so popular with the public?
I like to believe it's the connection. It's connecting to a human experience, and you're witnessing history in a way that's just not possible when you're in an exhibit. You really are experiencing it. You're not just being told that something happened, you're watching it unfold.
Well, the other side of the coin to my question, of course, is that a lot of academics and scholars and research historians do not have a lot of affection for living history. There's a bit of a divide.
Yeah.
And I think that museums like yours can bridge that public interest with scholarly, accuracy. What does the museum do to reach out to historians in addition to the public to bridge that divide?
Of Absolutely. We have, like you said, with my title, we do have a lot of departments. Living history is just one little aspect. And I'm a public historian, so I'm always kind of like on that line. We are academic, but we're also looking at the community and how to engage and interpret history a little differently. But some of our other programs, like our symposium, is very academic. This year, we're really diving into what Japanese occupation meant in World War II, but also what does it mean today? The relevance of what happened and Japanese occupation across Asia is still seen all over. So we have experts, an amazing panel from all over the world coming, and we interest the highest of academics, but it also interests people with just a general World War II interest as well. So we're very excited that we can do living history, but we also do have very high standards of our academia as well. And we have some of the biggest experts in the Pacific War coming, like Rich Frank, and last year we had Craig Simons. So we do love to cater to the academics. And our museum also houses the Center for Pacific War Studies. So we are one of the biggest repositories for research, and we always welcome academics to come here as well.
No, it's great to hear about how well-rounded the museum and the Smithsonian operations really are. I think it's great when we can bring historians and the public together. So we just have a quick moment here before I share some information about the museum in our show notes. But do you expect to see an Oppenheimer bump in interest in the museum? Is that happening already?
So I think that there's always been an interest. We do have an atomic bomb casing in our exhibit, so that's one of the things people do come to see. But it is interesting to see younger generations that may not have that connection to World War II learning about it. And pop culture, I always think, is a great idea because people are learning about it for the first time or interested in reading more and getting books. And we are always welcoming people to come here and allowing us to help you learn more and help you figure out how to discover that history on your own.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Kyna Stys, Education and Museum Programs Director at the National Museum of the Pacific War. We'll have more information about the museum and these events after the show in our notes. Thanks again.
Thank you so much.
Well, I can only imagine how interested folks are going to be in history after seeing Oppenheimer. In fact, you can't even get near the theater right now to see Oppenheimer. Every show is sold out at almost every theater in Houston.
That's right. It was tough for me. My sons and I saw it on Sunday, but we had to pick odd seats at odd hours, and it was shocking to me to see every seat reserved well in advance. That's not normal at all these days.
And yeah, I think it's pretty fascinating that folks are interested in our history and how it affects us today. Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to move on to news, events, and announcements. So HCC Northwest is hosting another college and community fair to help students and prospective students with everything they need to enroll. And that is going on right now. So it started at 9 a.m. It goes till noon. And it is at our Spring Branch campus. So check out HCC's events calendar for more information.
All right. Well, women entrepreneurs out there, what's next when I get in the room? This is our Fempreneurs workshop. It seems like a good opportunity and a time for women to start businesses. Some might want to learn a little bit about how to take risks. And this virtual series continues with tips on building confidence. It's noon to 1:30 p.m. on Wednesday, August 2nd. Check our post after the show for registration information.
And HCC's Entrepreneurial Initiatives is offering another free SCORE workshop to learn more about the business end of business. And that is 1 to 3 p.m. Thursday, August 3rd at our Missouri City campus. And check out our post after the show for registration information.
Well, HCC continues to offer summer dance classes for teens and adults. The HCC Community Learning Program continues with classes for all ages, including tap, jazz, and Middle Eastern belly dancing. Tuesdays and Saturdays through August 12th at HCC Spring Branch campus. As always, check those notes after the post for showtimes, fees, and registration information.
Well, we are calling all future Eagles because starting your higher education journey can be intimidating. HCC is hosting virtual information sessions to assist students with enrollment and registration for fall. HCC admissions advisors will help students apply, secure eligible financial aid, and so much more. Check out our post after the show for details.
All right, fall registration is open, so check hcc.edu/apply for information about HCC programs, start dates, and options. We've got classes in lots of modalities, including in-person, online anytime, and online on a schedule. We also offer classes with hybrids and lab classes with hybrid as well. So check the system, see what modalities, campuses, times, and classes you're interested in. Fall will be here soon.
Boy, it sure will. And for Film Friday, we'll have our own HCC filmmaker and instructor, Kate Phillips, joining us to talk about her latest project and her upcoming semester. And staying in the vein of sciences, we'll welcome the chair of HCC's chemistry department. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Nick. And for you, our audience, we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Have a great week.